Let's get into this now. The Special Investigating Unit says up to 2 billion rand was looted from Tembisa Hospital in Gauteng. That's more than double what was initially flagged by murdered whistleblower Babita Deokaran, who was killed in August 2021. The SIU today releasing an interim report which names Hangwani Maumela and Vusimuzi Ketmatlala among those who allegedly benefited from the tenders at the facility. Now, for reaction to this, we are joined by the Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. Minister, good evening to you. Thank you very much for making time for us. Whistleblower Babita Deokaran, she paid the ultimate price for trying to be an ethical public servant. What would your message be to her family on a day like this?
Well, may her soul rest in peace. The message to the family will be that she did not die in vain, because justice is definitely going to be meted to those who took her life away out of sheer greed. And so, because now they are being exposed, the asset forfeiture unit have already got permission, even from the tribunal, to freeze their assets. They are going to be sold. We will report the matter to police. They are likely to be sentenced. So Babita did not die in vain.
Minister, today at that media briefing, you sat alongside the Gauteng executive officials, the Premier and the MEC of Health. And I'd like for you to tell us what your message is to the executive of Gauteng, which, according to media reports, has allowed some of the senior officials in the health department to resign. And these are people that Deokaran, at least one of them, she confided in.
I did not hear that from the SIU statement today. All I heard is that what happened in Tembisa Hospital was done in collaboration. The syndicates, because there were 3 syndicates, one by Maumela, in which there's Ket Matlala, the other one by a person called Mazibuko, and the other one they just called Syndicate X. So there were 3 syndicates, and they were saying the syndicates were working hand in glove with officials from the Department of Health in Gauteng, but also from Tembisa Hospital itself.
Minister, before I move on from the Gauteng executive, are you satisfied with how they have dealt with the Tembisa Hospital saga? Are you getting any reports about people being held accountable for what has happened?
Well, the SIU report has announced 15 names of people in Tembisa Hospital and in the Department of Health who must be held accountable. Things will come out when you take these people to DC, when they start getting interrogated, when civil cases are made against them. At the moment, it's too early to tell, but some of the people have been referred to me at the national level to charge. And I'm not going to leave any stone unturned.
The SIU today painting a scenario, and I'm going to use their words here, painting a scenario where they say some of the deliveries that were allegedly sent to that hospital on the back of invoices that were submitted, all of this was fictitious. And so they're saying that these were, quote unquote, phantom deliveries. And let me just read one more line from their statement today. All the money flowed through a network of front companies and beneficiaries, leaving the hospital with no value for money whatsoever. It is all smoke and mirrors. Now, when you look back, Minister, at the history of this hospital, there's one particular case that was highly publicized and it was that of Mr. Lishole. He died because he had been starved for 100 days. He had not received food. Shonisane Lishole is his full name. And there was also negligence on the part of the hospital staff. This is a report that was conducted by the then Health Ombud, Professor Malekapuru Makgoba. When you listen to stories like that, Minister, there are many others, by the way, does it tell you that indeed corruption is not a victimless crime? Does it confirm that?
Of course it does. There's no way that corruption can't be a victimless crime. There are lots of victims to corruption. In this case, you can imagine when people steal this money, like in the case of this Maumela, who bought Lamborghinis and all sorts of luxury cars to enjoy himself. Meanwhile, there are certain things that are not there in hospitals. So it's clear he's victimizing people who need those services, but he's victimizing all South Africans because this is the taxpayers' money. These are the facilities that we're going to use. So South Africans are the victims of this corruption, obviously.
You mentioned Mr. Maumela, Hangwani Maumela. His picture is on the screen right now as part of that graph that was shown by the SIU. Then there is also Mr. Vusimuzi Ket Matlala, also party to this, but his name has been named a number of times at the Madlanga inquiry. This is the gentleman who's on screen right now. He's in jail as we speak, Minister. Now, at that commission, just one last point, at that commission, it has come out that he had a particular network of people that he worked with, and these were people that facilitated flows of money to the ANC. This is a party you belong to. What should members of the public say when they hear things like that?
Well, they must wait for the commission to conclude its work and give recommendations. Whatever recommendations they make, as far as I'm concerned, it does not matter which party is involved. The Madlanga Commission was established to arrive at the truth and make recommendations. They were not told that they must make a recommendation if it is this party or that party, etc. The fact that those people happen to belong to ANC does not then mean that action must not be taken. After all, the ANC is the ruling party. Unfortunately, it attracts all these scoundrels because they are attracted by power and the chance of doing corruption. And they rush to ANC, unfortunately, because the ruling party were suffering from the sins of incumbency. So whatever is found and whatever is done, like today, they found Hangani Maumela and Ket Matlala, but Ket Matlala in the case of Tembisa, in the scheme of things, he was playing a small role because they are mentioning only 13 billion rand. Perhaps they are still going to unveil even more. But it doesn't matter and my belief is that if you go and ask ANC as a party, they might say they don't know anything about that money, because we know about instances where people have got money from funders or from other donations. I mean, donations from people in the name of ANC when the ANC knows nothing about it. So that is what Madlanga need to go and dig deep in.
Minister, I'm not going to assume, and I'm not going to try and put words in your mouth about what label you have for those that are within your party, the ANC, because they are also party to this for enabling what you call scoundrels. So the ones that want the money flows, you label them as scoundrels. I wonder what your label is for those that are within the party. And whilst we are on the question of the political party, Minister, today you said something that was quite striking, and that is that you mentioned the country China and how it deals with the corrupt. Just take us back, remind us what your words were at that press conference.
My words, Oli, was that when things like this happen, where people steal money from a public hospital, money that is there to help the poor, to help pregnant women, to help children, to help people who have got nowhere to go, and with that money, you buy a string of luxury cars. I said, when things like this happen, you start appreciating what China does. Because in China, when you do this type of things, they execute you. And whether our constitution allows it or not, all our saying is you will start appreciating why they take this extreme action. Because as I said, the people are not only punishing one individual they are stealing from, they are punishing the whole country. They are destroying the whole country. They are destroying citizens of South Africa. So you'll start appreciating why Chinese took such steps. And I further said, because in our case, following our constitutional democracy, they are going to be sentenced if they are found guilty. And God forbid, if they are not, they are going to be sentenced, serve 1/3 of the sentence, and come out and come back and enjoy their monies. Meanwhile, Babita Deokaran is dead. I gave an example of another example in Home Affairs of a gentleman called Mr. T. They tried this life twice because he was stopping corruption at the refugee reception center in Marabastad. They shot him 4 bullets. He survived them and came out and continued what he was doing. They then shot him another 2 bullets. He still survived them and he's in hiding. And I was saying it's very wrong for a patriot like Mr. T to be in hiding when scoundrels like this are moving about in public and driving luxury cars. Surely we need to reset and do something else.
I wonder whether you would recommend the death penalty, Minister, for those that do that in our country. I know what our constitution says.
Yes.
Would you recommend?
I'm going to be told what our constitution says, but what I was saying is we now have a national dialogue. We said we need to talk about these issues and reset. If we need to change certain parts of the constitution, so let it be. And I said, as much as the death penalty might not be desirable, I said for 3 groups of people, I will definitely support it if the debate is put on the table. For those who rape and kill 3-month-old babies, infants who cannot even, it's worse than animals. For those who slaughter women in the manner in which you have heard, and for those who steal from the public in the manner in which these scoundrels have done, in that case, I will definitely support it because we can't have such people living amongst us.
Minister Motsoaledi, I have to absolutely agree with you. Thank you very much for your time this evening.